Hey guys, so for those of you out there running Windows XP on your computers, upgrade because it is officially end of life. There's absolutely no more support of it from Microsoft. So if there's a virus that comes out that targets Windows XP or Windows in general, Microsoft will not be worrying about making that more secure. So if you have Windows XP, upgrade to Windows 8, or don't do Windows 7, do Windows 8. Because Windows is very, very much improved, which they talked about the new improvements in their build conference recently. They had a keynote recently. They call it the build conference. That's what Microsoft called it. And this is my coverage video for that. There's a lot to get through, so let's get going. So, to cover the build conference, I'm going to start with what they started with, which is Windows Phone. First of all, I just want to say kudos to Microsoft because Windows Phone is very, very much improving with every single generation. Is getting so much better. In fact, I really, really want a Windows Phone now. Not just so I can review it and tell you guys about it, but for my personal use. I have an iPhone and I'm really not liking it. I wanted Android, but Windows seems like a really good option for me. Especially with these new changes that they announced for the Windows Phone 8.1 software. The first new thing in Windows Phone 8.1 is Action Center, and this is their notification center. And at the top, there are up to 4 quick setting links, and the user can choose which settings that can be toggled up there. So if you want Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, screen rotation lock, and cellular control up there, then you put those up there. It's completely up to the user as far as what settings are up there. There is a company out there that they really need to do that for their quick setting toggles. They should really let the user pick which ones are in there. Apple. Oh, sorry. I got a frog in my throat there. Another new thing is lock screen theme. So those of you going, what's a lock screen theme? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a theme for your lock screen. They demonstrated a few really cool ones at the build conference, but basically you download it from the Windows Store and apply it, and developers can make them, and then you can have it. There are tons and tons and tons of lock screen themes out there, and some of them are really, really cool. So, and a lot of them have different animations and stuff, so when you swipe up to unlock, it'll like turn and twist and shift and all that stuff. It's really, really cool. Another thing is the high density or low density start screen. You can choose to stay with how it is now with 2 columns of tiles. But you can also have a high-density one, which even on smaller displays, you can have 3 rows of tiles, which is pretty cool because if you have a lot of tiles that use a lot and you don't want to have to scroll to get to them, well, now you don't have to make them smaller because now you can just have 3 rows instead of 2, and it's really, really nice. And Microsoft did a good job implementing this because it still doesn't look crowded. It still looks like a usable device, and the user interface still looks really, really good. Another thing is start screen backgrounds, which is where you can take a picture by a default picture or a user picture, and you can set it as what will be the background of your live tiles instead of, not your live tiles, your tiles, instead of the color, like the green or the blue or whatever that you would set before. Now you can set a picture to be those, which is pretty cool. Now, Microsoft has added a swipe keyboard, and they call it a word flow keyboard. That's really all I can say about it. It is very accurate. Lots of good reviews about it. It's called a word flow keyboard. Like I said, it's a swipe keyboard just like Android has. And it's pretty cool that Microsoft put that in. And there's another company that I really should put one in. Apple. Man, coughing a lot today. Another cool thing is called Wi-Fi Sense. So if you're at home, you're connected to your Wi-Fi network, and your friend comes over and says, hey man, can I use your Wi-Fi? You say, sure. You give them a password, but the password is not for your Wi-Fi network. It's for Wi-Fi Sense, which is basically, it connects to your phone, and through the phone they have internet access only. They don't have access to the computers that are on your internet or anything else, so they can't just connect and then hack your computers or something like that, because all it allows them to is access the internet, not your full home network. Now, this is probably the biggest thing that they announced. Is called Cortona. What's Cortona? Well, basically, it bakes cornbread for you. So, you can... What? Oh, that... Oh. Oh, okay. Well, it's not as exciting then. It's a personal assistant. Alright, I'm just kidding. Cortana is a personal assistant. It's awesome. It is really, really good. In my opinion, it exceeds Siri. It's better than Siri. Siri's been out since 2010. 11, excuse me. It's been out since 2011. Cortana is beta, and I think it's better than Siri. It does more. It talks more accurately. It sounds better. In my opinion, it's closer to Google Now than it is to Siri, and that's awesome because this is Microsoft's first shot at a digital assistant, and they're already competing with Apple and Google for this. And Google Now is far better than Siri is. Sorry, Apple, but you need to do some catching up if you don't want to get run into the ground, because Google and Microsoft will take you down. But I digress. Cortana is powered by Bing, so it's got very accurate results and very fast. Cortana is very fast, and like I said, it sounds very human-like. Sounds better than Apple's human-like Siri sounding. Siri does sound more human in iOS 7 than it did in 6, but Cortana sounds more human. It sounds like you're talking to somebody. A way that makes it very similar to Google Now is because it gets to know you. It learns things about you based on what you tell it and what you input it and just what it already knows based on stuff in your phone. It won't hack any of your accounts or anything like that. It only stuff that you tell it or allow it to access. And then it learns about you just like Google Now. It'll learn things about you and then be able to help you in ways that it knows that it can help you based on what you like and who you talk to and stuff. Everything that Cortana knows about you is stored in Cortana's notebook, and there's a button at the top right of the Cortana interface, so you can tap it and you can edit something, or you can tell it something, or you can remove something if it no longer applies. Like if you get divorced, you can take your wife off that list, or something like that. So it's really easy to edit and modify what Cortana knows about you without actually having to say anything. Cortana can also be used without speaking. So to Siri, you have to speak in order to use it. I know you can type to fix an error, but you can't just type right off the bat. Google Now, you can type and then it won't speak back to you, so this is kind of like Google Now. So you open the Cortana interface, and on the bottom, instead of having the microphone, you tap the text field, and then the keyboard comes up, and you type, and here you can use WordFlow if you choose to, and you type, and then Cortana will use text to respond to you. It won't speak back, it won't make any noise, so if you're in class trying to cheat on a test or something, I don't recommend doing that, but it will not make any noise. You can give Cortana permission to scan things like your emails. So it will find things. For example, what they demonstrated in the keynote was it scanned the emails and it found out that there's a flight being planned. So it offers, would you like me to keep track of this flight? So then it'll automatically alert you if there's a delay, if the time changes, if it's canceled, stuff like that. And that's really, really cool because you need to know that kind of thing. And again, it will only do this with your permission, and it will only be able to do that through the email app on your phone. It won't go hack the Google server or the Yahoo server or something and get your personal information without you telling it to. So it's not like this is some creeper thing that Microsoft is using to keep track of you. It's just something that's meant to help you out. So now let's talk about the Windows 8.1 update. Now it's been out for a while, so it's not any real new news. But I do want to talk about some of the new features because they are making sure that consumers are actually happy with this, and they're realizing some mistakes they made before, and they're making it easier to use with a mouse and keyboard. So one nice thing is that Windows apps like the Store and Xbox Music, they can now be pinned to the taskbar on the desktop. So they can launch from the desktop and you don't even need to deal with the start screen at all, which is really nice. To enhance the usability of users that don't have a touchscreen and only use a mouse and keyboard, the apps now have a title bar with minimize and close buttons on them. So it's very obvious to users what to do when you want to close it, so you don't have to go to the thing at the top and drag it all the way down. If you don't have a touchscreen, if it's easy to do on a touchscreen, just go like that. But if you don't have a touchscreen, you just bring the mouse to the top like you would in a regular window, and you click the close button or the minimize button, and then it minimizes to the taskbar. Now, in the past, with Windows 8 and Windows 8.1, when you right-click on something in the start screen, a thing would pop up on the bottom, and that's where your right-click options were. Now, it behaves just like the desktop, where there's a little pop-up menu right next to the mouse when you right-click, and that's where all your options are, which is really nice, and it's just that easier to use. It's more obvious because it's right there, and it's really nice that Microsoft is looking into doing this for users and making sure that they have a better user experience. coming later on in the year, the start menu is coming back. Now, this is an option. You can decide whether you want the start screen or the start menu. That's my understanding. They didn't really talk about it very much. They had talked about it for about 20 seconds in the whole 3-hour event. But basically, it's just like one of those. There's a very common concept video out for what a start menu could look like, and it kind of seems like Microsoft saw it and is listening, and they did that, because it's almost exactly what it looks like. It looks like the Windows 7 start menu on the left side, but on the right side there's some live tiles. So you can pick which tiles that you would use a lot, and you can put them in the start menu. So it's really nice for those who prefer the desktop feel, and you can choose whether you want the start screen or the start menu. Alright guys, that's basically it. Microsoft had a 3-hour event. I didn't cover any of the developer stuff or the really, really techy stuff because my audience is not developers. My audience is people who like to learn about tech and or who just want to watch me. And how could you not want to watch me? Come on, look at me. So guys, tell me, what do you think about Windows Phone 8.1? Would you want a phone running this operating system? Let me know with a comment below. Also guys, my friend Alex, he's got that YouTube channel. Click right there. There will also be a link on the end screen if you want to check out his channel. We really appreciate it. He's really good. He's techie, just like me. He knows his stuff. Go check out his channel. There will be a link on the end screen. And also, one more announcement. So, my 50th video is coming very soon. And for that, I'd like to do a video, but a special video for it, but I need your guys' support for it. So I've been telling you to leave your personal questions for me in the comment section below. However, I think you guys think that's weird or something because I've gotten absolutely no questions. So if you have a question for an Ask Me video that I plan to do on my 50th video, leave it with a comment below. If you don't have a question, don't leave it. If you don't want me to do that video, then don't leave a question. But if I get enough questions, I will be doing that. So that will be next Sunday if I get enough questions. Otherwise, I'll just do another techie video. But I kind of want to shake it up a little bit, and I want to do an Ask Me video because it is going to be my 50th video, and I'm very excited. So basically, you have two tasks today. What do you think about Windows 8.1? And what do you want to know about me? Anything about me, anything at all. And let me know with a comment below, both of those things, and I will read them. Obviously, I always read the comments. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week.